Daniel Dubois makes a return to the ring following his first pro defeat to Joe Joyce and scores a second round knockout over Bogdan Dinu. Now, Bogdan Dinu, in his two previous losses, showed some ability in terms of technical ability because he did have a pretty extensive amateur background. But in both of those losses, he showed a lack of desire, in my view. He looked like he could have continued in both cases. Actually, well, let me not say that. In the Jarrell Miller fight, he looked like he could have, gone on. From what I remember of the Pulev fight, it was the same kind of thing where he started quite well and he actually hurt Pulev in that fight. But once he started shipping punishment, his desire for battle evaporated very quickly. So that's how Bogdan Dinu tends to be. He's one of these guys that, again, has decent amateur background. He's competent technically. He's not exceptional or anything. He's competent technically, but he just doesn't have the heart for this game. And that's what I saw again here against Daniel Dubois. And on top of all that, he wasn't in shape this time. Bogdan Dinu normally weighs in the high 230s to the low 240s. For this fight, he was 260. So he came in out of shape. He's fighting in the UK, I believe. Is he normally based in America? I think he's normally based in America. I know he's fought. Actually, no. He's probably normally based in his native country of Romania. But he's definitely fought in America a couple of times. The Miller fight and the Pulev fight were in America. But anyway, he was certainly fighting away from home. Career heaviest, 260 pounds. Showed a lack of intestinal fortitude in his two previous career defeats. And here against Daniel Dubois, he looks slow. Because normally, Dinu looks quite mobile. In this fight, he looks slow. And as soon as Dubois hit him with a clean one on the chin, it was a good shot. I'm not saying he took a dive or anything. But to me, his eyes looked clear enough. He didn't look out of it. He could have got up if the desire was there. He didn't want to get up. He got hit with a good enough shot to give him plausible deniability for staying on the canvas. Acting like, oh yeah, there's nothing I could do. I was too badly hurt. That kind of thing. So it was what it was. Dubois has only been training with Shane McGuigan for a couple of weeks, 3-4 weeks, something like that. And McGuigan said in all the interviews, you're not going to see much of a change in Dubois so soon. Because, again, we've only been working together for a couple of weeks. You're going to have to wait a while. You're going to have to give me 6 months with the guy, a year with the guy. Then you'll start to see me implement some changes in his style and his approach. Dubois looked excited in the ring. He was really trying to get to Bogdan Dinu. And that's how Dubois normally is. So he looked excited. Some people say he was a little bit more speedy than normal. I think that's what the BT commentator or presenter Paul Dempsey was trying to say. But David Adelaide, who was on the panel, he said, no, it was the same Daniel Dubois. He didn't see anything new or different about him. And I think there might have been extremely subtle differences, but virtually imperceptible, I would say, about Dubois. So, yeah, let's see what Shane McGuigan can do with him over a number of months. I rate Shane McGuigan as a trainer, always have. And, yeah, let's just wait and find out if he can mold Dubois, who's young enough, into something more polished, something more rounded than what we've seen before. So that's my take on it. Now, as far as what Frank Warren, his promoter, is saying, he wants to put Daniel Dubois as soon as possible in against Trevor Bryan for the WBA regular belt. And David Adelaide was saying that that's unnecessary. I think Carl Frampton was saying the same thing. That's unnecessary. Why are you trying to rush this guy to fight at world level? Like, let him take on the Dinus of the world and, let him have a transitionary period where he's learning his trade and he's also adjusting to the new things his trainer Shane McGuigan, his new trainer Shane McGuigan is going to be teaching him. Let him have, he's a very young guy. He's got all the time in the world. Why is Frank Warren in a rush to get this guy up to world level. We can only speculate. Maybe Frank Warren saw enough in the Joe Joyce fight to make him believe that Dubois doesn't need loads more development fights and whatever. Or maybe it's something more cynical than that. Maybe Frank Warren wants a return on his investment. Maybe he's thinking, you know what, I need to get this guy up to the world level ASAP because the last 12 months has hit every promoter very hard in the pocket. And Frank Warren was struggling even before this past year decimated the economy. Frank Warren has been struggling for a very long time with Queensberry. So maybe he's looking at Dubois like, you need to get me a payday and fast, particularly when Tyson Fury is always fighting in the States. And I know Warren will be getting some type of cut from that. I don't know exactly what percentage. Or maybe he's not getting a cut from Tyson Fury fighting in the States. I don't know what the arrangement is like with Bob Arum. But yeah, he hasn't been in a good financial position as far as his company for several years. Okay. And the past year has just compounded the problems. So perhaps he's just looking to make some money out of Dubois ASAP. I was always concerned when Dubois signed that 5-year extension with Frank Warren. Because Queensberry looked like, if not a sinking ship, then a ship that was very, very old and rickety and could develop a hole in its hull anytime soon. A real rickety old ship. And you wouldn't want to stay on that ship long term. You'd want to get on a nice big brand spanking new liner, which is made of much more solid material than some rickety old wooden ship. But instead of doing that, Dubois decided to stay on the rickety ship. So when you're on that rickety ship and there might be a hole, 1 or 2 holes, it's almost like a plane, plane has got issues and they're going to start releasing fuel, so the plane is not as heavy. And that's what you may do on a ship if you've got holes in the ship. You might start trying to throw things overboard so it doesn't sink so fast. The captain might get desperate. And that was my concern with Dubois signing this 5-year. I don't like fighters signing deals that long with anybody. I don't care if it's Eddie Hearn or whoever it is. A 5-year deal to me is just too long. You don't know what's going to happen in that 5 years in terms of the fortunes of your promoter and the relationship that you have with them. So 5 years is just too long. But with Frank Warren's particular situation, I just felt like this guy could get desperate and try and cash Daniel Dubois out, Is that what he's doing now? You guys let me know in the comment section below. And let me know what you thought about Dubois' performance against Bogdan Dinu. All right?